So this is a very short video on how to light and render a night sky in Maya. And the scene I've opened is a very simple scene involving a crow flying around a Welsh chapel in a graveyard. And what we want to do is to kind of create a night scene. There's also you can also see the bell ringing there. So if you wanted to add the sound of crows to this exercise, you could do that. Sound of a bell ringing. You can play around with this. If you want to see how to do this, then there's a tutorial which I'll take you to. So if you go to the Animation Apprentice blog, you'll find the crow in flight tutorial here, and this explains how to do this this tutorial. So it's a very simple one involving a motion cycle on the crow, a flight path, attaching the crow to the flight path, and then flying the crow around the chapel, and then we've got a moving camera at the end. So what we want to do is light this scene, and the way we're going to do it is by creating a Skydome in Maya using the Arnold renderer, and then using an HDRI texture map to attach that to the Skydome. And the HDRI we're going to go for is that of a night sky, and that's how we're going to do this. So let's make sure we're in the render menu up here, top left hand corner, and then let's go to the Arnold menu up here, and then let's go to lights, and we're going to create a Skydome light. And you'll see there it gets created, AI Skydome light, and then in the attribute editor we can go into the color tab, click on that, and then go to file, and that will now create this little folder tab here. And then if I click on that, it will take us to the HDR file. Now I've got one here selected. There you can see it lit up here. You can use any night sky HDR that you like. Just Google, go to Google Images and find one that you like. So you can see here I've gone to Google, I've Googled HDRI night sky, and you can search for free ones if you like. Obviously you want to be a little bit careful about copyright if you're using this for commercial purposes, but I'll leave you to select one that you personally like the most. So I'm going to open this one up here, the one I've downloaded, and it will attach that to the Skydome. And now I can go ahead and I can do a test render and see what I've got. So if I just open up the menu here so that we can see the render button, I can go ahead and do that. Of course, we want to go into our render settings before we do that. Just make sure that we've got everything set up. So in render settings, you want to make sure that let's see, let's render a JPEG, file output. Actually, I'm just going to go edit reset settings here. Well, actually, let's just make sure we've got everything selected. So we're selecting the Arnold renderer. I'm rendering a JPEG. Frame padding I'm set to 4. It's now start and end frame. Well, we're just rendering a single image for now, so we don't need to worry about that. We're rendering the shot camera. If you want a nice big fat high resolution image, you're going to go to HD 1080, but I'm rendering HD 540 just because it's nice and quick. So having done that, I'm now going to go to my render tab up here and just see what I've got, and that should give me a nighttime render. So you can see I've got this nice starry sky, I've got moonlight in the scene, and as if by magic, we've got a nighttime starry scene. Now you can see some of these textures here on this grave. That's going to need work. That's because these are very low poly assets. But it's working pretty well, and you know, this isn't bad for just a few clicks. So we can also go through the scene. There we go, there's the crow in flight up there. So if we go ahead and let me just open this up so you can see what I'm doing here. If we just go ahead and render that again, get in a different frame, we'll see what that does. So now we've got our crow flying through the sky, and that in a nutshell is how to create a night starry sky using the Skydome. And if you want to render out a series of images, then go ahead and watch one of the other videos on how to do a render sequence in Arnold. I'll show you where that is. here we go, there's a blog post from the 14th of October, how to export a render sequence in Arnold. So I'll leave you to watch that video in order to render out a series of images.